When you see yourself, you gotta be yourself. Hello, I'm Joel Walkowski. I'm the professional gambler. I'm here at the Props Network doing my daily NBA bets on the season. We're 25 and 18. I made an Excel spreadsheet tracking them all down. So we're going to do a little bit of analysis. We got 3 picks today. The slate looks pretty hearty and bountiful. I apologize for not coming on yesterday. They had me do some UFC stuff here, so you can check that out for UFC 257 on the Props Network feed. We had an actual MMA trainer, Diego Lopez, who was like as legit as they come. I mean, I know him from comedy, but that dude will kill a man. He won't, but he's a very nice guy and a vegan, so he won't even kill an animal, but he is a lethal weapon, and it was fun breaking down the fights with him and Alexa G. So go check that out. She put a chicken finger in some soda. I am being told that's a credit. Okay, so let's get into the NBA today. And I think our first lower third, it's going to be made for the Chicago Bulls hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Is that correct? I think that's correct. So the Bulls, we don't need to pull up the props tool because I think they're 3-point favorites. And I think that Chicago opened up at, scroll down, Sammy. They opened at 1.5. Now they are plus 3.5. So the injury report is not in their favor. They're missing Patrick Williams, who's been very good. They're missing Garrett Temple, who's been very good. They're missing Wendell Carter Jr., who's been very good, but they got Markkanen back. Markkanen, the marksman. And you know what? The Hornets, their strengths of their roster, they've got good perimeter players. The Bulls also have good perimeter players, but I think there's just these teams have very similar identities, very similar talent levels, and I'm going to go with the Bulls at home. I think they have the best player in this game as well in Zach LaVine. And then if I'm going to don my harpoon, if I'm going to adorn myself like I'm hanging out on the top of a fish stick box, I'm going to look at the handle report on this. And looking at the betting numbers, which 51% of the bets are in Chicago, 88% of the money. We got a whale. Ahoy, matey. We're going to follow the whale, and we're going to tell it to the Chicago Bulls. And once we land the Bulls, we're going to turn them into lamp oil. We're going to turn them into candles, and we're going to take Kobe White, and we're going to make them into curtains. So what accent is that? That's a whaler accent. That's how people sound in Newfoundland. But yeah, I do think a lot of the players on the Bulls have sort of arrived. I think that there's actually going to be a lot of value in the Bulls moving forward over the course of the season because Jim Boylen we talk about how bad Brett Brown was. Jim Boylen was absolutely on that level, only he didn't have the strong floor of talent to really just lift the franchise to the point where we could notice how bad he was. But that being said, the upgrade to Billy Donovan, who I think has actually gotten a lot better over the past 2 seasons as a coach. He fits this scheme well, and Chicago's been a tough out lately. And yeah, I expect them to keep it close against Charlotte. We could even get down with the money line if you would prefer, but I don't think so. And then, okay, let's talk about our next game. We have a couple teams. We have the Raptors and the Heat. Who's home? Who's away? Well, it's in Florida either way. So either way, you're going to have a lot of fans watching from a hot topic. Okay, so what do we got here? We got this line opened at Heat +2. It's up to Heat +2.5. Toronto's been very bad, but the Heat are still a COVID team. I believe that Jimmy Butler is still out. He may be rolled back tonight, but I don't know if that's the case. Goran Dragic is probable. Tyler Hero is questionable. And on the other side of the coin, the Toronto Raptors are possibly missing Pascal Siakam, who has not been that good this year. Yeah, we went the other way with the Raps the other night. Let's flip it around. We've had good value on that. So, yeah, I think we go the other way. That's a theory that we've been ascribing to. And yeah, 100%. These teams are at the same level. They have the same honest for success on their season. They need to get back into the playoff contention. They've got veterans who they rely on who aren't quite right, whose circumstances are holding them back. Pascal hasn't been the same since the bubble's been back. Jimmy is in the protocol. Nonetheless, I like the Heat here getting 2 points. And, you know, I just think this is a toss-up game. Maybe the Heat are the way to go here. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Miami just because that Pascal injury, if he's not the same player, they've got a little bit of keeping up to do. Can I just say also, I didn't make this my pick, but if you scroll up there for me, Sam, scroll up, show me that Pistons and Rockets game. It says early start. Yeah, I think the Rockets, that's great value there. Plus points there. There's so much more talent in the Rockets rotation, no matter who's out there, than the Pistons rotation. The Pistons, they're a nightmare team to bet on. They had 90% of the money on them against Atlanta 2 nights ago. They were blowing Atlanta out the entire game. They love to mess with their rotations at the end of the fourth quarter, and they will, they'll intentionally lose games. But yeah, they blew a cover. And now against the Rockets tonight, it's a Christian Wood. It's a homecoming for the crucifix. And yeah, I love the Rockets in that one. Yeah, so you want me to pull up Raptors props? I will pull up Raptors props. I will need to do that in the moment, but I can do that for you because we have a listener question. I mean, off the top of my head, if Pascal's on the injury report, don't we like the Obi Anunoby over under? You could do points, rebounds, assists, but the algebra of Siakam being out and then Obi getting a little bit more love, that makes sense to me personally. So maybe you want to back Obi. I would back Obi. You know who wouldn't? Garfield. And yeah, I get the notes. Joel, don't look at the monitor, but I also get the notes. Joel, will you pull up the lines for this player prop game that you get no provocation for? So which is it? Yeah, I guess you can't win in this one. Okay, Action Network. Okay, I will pull up the player props. If you send me a link for them, I will get a take for those because I don't want to do that on the air without provocation. Happy to do it most times, but I've got bets that I thought about that I was ready to talk about, and it kind of messes up my flow if you ask me to go otherwise. So we have the Knicks at the Kings, 10 o'clock. The Knicks, they played a good game last night against Golden State. I don't think they match up too well from Golden State, but they blew them out of the water. Maybe that was a schedule loss for Golden State because they played the night before versus San Antonio, but the same thing's happening. The Knicks are now at the Kings. The Kings are slight favorites, and the Kings have a more talented backcourt than the Knicks do, at least as presently comprised. I really think the Kings are going to take advantage here. I think they're roster actually, especially with the emergence of Marvin Bagley, is well equipped to hold court with this Knicks offense. Mitchell Robinson, yeah, he's a nice player, but the full potential of Marvin Bagley is still better. Yeah, RJ Barrett, he's a nice player, but yeah, Halliburton is a better player. Kings are better at every step along these rosters. The Knicks will be tired. I love this bet. And if you even want to get into the handle, you see, we've got ourselves a whale. We have 40% of the bets are on the Kings, 46% of the money. That bodes well. So I like that quite a bit. So, in conclusion for tonight, I like the Heat over the Raptors. I like the Kings over the Knicks. And I liked another game, but I forget. What? No. What was I do like the Rockets over the Pistons. You know, I thought about that before we came on the air, but I also like the Bulls at hosting the Hornets, covering the 3 points. That makes a lot of sense to me personally. Those are my best bets for the NBA day today. So I will now open up the floor. And if you have any questions, comments, things you want me to look into over the weekend, you let me know. I'll hang here. I'll show you guys my hairline while we wait. Yeah, he's still bald. And yeah, I can show you this gift from my dad. He has no money. He sent me this autograph card of Art Schlichter. He's the only quarterback banned from the NFL. He point shaved, which is pretty cool. My fiance's leaving. Will she take my clothes to the dry cleaner? Will she bring back barbecue? You know, in addition to these bets, these are some fun things we have to look forward to, not just in the Props Network, but in our daily lives. I hope the weekend is good for you guys. I hope you guys have some questions, and none are really coming in at the moment. I think that's because we're a little bit earlier than usual. Because I did the show with Steve Clark. Everyone loves the NFL props drop, so I did that. We're riding those coattails, so we will catch you guys up on. I think I'm going to come back on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to make sure that slate looks good. So if you do like our show, if you do watch all the time, like and subscribe. The Props Network, we do the best gambling content there is. I know, because I watch a lot of it, and with a lot of it, I'm like, I'm not learning anything, nor am I being entertained. So what am I even doing here? And yeah, that applies to most of the big outlets. But yeah, I think we'll hang out a little bit on Sunday, because I think there's a few games there that could use my attention. And yeah, let's throw down then. Smash subscribe in the meantime. But until then, let's throw down on some NBA action this evening. Until then, this is Joel Walkowski walking off.